when I used to drink and everything, I used to be really depressed, have
Mm.
anxiety, and I would, even when I was still drinking, I would still turn to try to practice meditation, and it would help a little bit, but there
Yeah.
was problems of the alcohol and that being a depressant. But now, like, I'm not depressed anymore. I don't have depression. I don't
Yeah.
have anxiety. When I do have a bad moment, I can just turn to meditation, and all it is doing is like centering yourself and like
Mm-hmm.
the moment and just thinking
Yeah.
of like, what's really important right now and
Yeah.
what really matters.
Got a special little episode of the show. We're going to have one of my good friends on, and she's going to talk a little bit about how she's revolutionized her whole life, really just changed her whole mindset, and she's really growing in a way that's beautiful to watch, and it's really inspiring me every day. And so I wanted to bring her on the show and talk to her a little bit about how she was able to instill that type of mindset and what she thinks is valuable from that process. So I hope you guys will tune in and stick around a little bit and help me welcome her. We're going to let everybody come into the show real quick, and then we'll get settled in. What's up, Nova Son? How are you living, baby? Yeah, I'm super excited. Super excited. So we're going to let everybody come in. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Gotta share. I don't even see Jennifer in here yet, so I know it's taking a second to proliferate. Hey! Oh, I'm doing great. I am doing great. I am. I am gonna help Lost in Vegas shoot some more stuff, some music video stuff today. I've had a really eventful day this morning. I thought I had a dude where's my car type situation happen. What's up, music munchies? And mayhem. Don't forget about the mayhem. You know, it's an important part of the equation. Yeah, so this morning it was Mario, my man. Always appreciate the love, brother. Yeah. Here's my girl Jennifer. She's in the house. She's in the house. Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. Today we're going to have a guest on the show, and I'm super excited about that. You guys know it's really always been a solo dolo thing for me here on the lives. I found my car. Yeah, sure did. Found it. My brother had it. Weird turn of events. But nonetheless, so today I'm going to have somebody else on the show, and it's something I want to do more often, you know. But I think it's interesting to note how I kind of do things, or how the grind gang is kind of structured, in a sense of, like, you know, for me in this community that I'm trying to build and this show that I do and everything that I try and do is really geared towards trying to help people become the happiest and healthiest version of themselves, you know? And so it's really about them and all of us trying to instill mindsets or habits within us that allow us to, like I said, live our best life, or commit to our dreams, or go after things that would seem impossible under different sets of beliefs and ideas about ourselves, right? And so that's what I try and encourage, and that's the people that I look up to in the world. And so when I talk about bringing somebody onto my platform, or when I talk about sharing my platform with people, for me, I'm not particularly interested in their level of celebrity, right? And that's what you see in a lot of people in interviews and stuff. It's a lot of times about what people are doing in the external world, right? And my show, you know, is not about that. It's about the internal world. It's about what you're doing inside within your own self, in your own mind, to cultivate a happy, good feeling and just a powerful mindset for yourself. So that, with that being said, when I bring people on the show, you know, these people might not have necessarily written books or done, I mean, they're me, you know what I mean? They're me. They're just people out here who've really been trying to find themselves and find a way to live a fulfilled life. And so today we have somebody who I think has really done that. Jennifer is a good friend of mine, and I met her probably 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, and we met through Mod Sun. You know, she's a big fan of Mod Sun. I'm sure we'll talk about him a little bit. And so we met through him, and then back in the day, I've been coaching for a while, and so me and her sat down one time and we talked a little bit, and I hadn't really heard from Jennifer since then. You know, we talked maybe Well, I'll bring her on and we'll talk about it. But twice, and then she kind of just went off on her own and started really working on herself and learning. And so today we're going to talk to her and hear about her journey. So I'm going to go ahead and pull her into the live right now. And I want you guys to all help me give Jennifer a warm welcome. Yeah! What's up, Jen?
How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm amazing. Everybody, this is Jennifer Staten. Staten, right? Staten? How you say
Thank-
it? Staten. Okay. It's Jennifer Staten. She goes by Green Eyes on Instagram. You might have seen her around if you guys are any type of Mod Sun fans. We be, heavy in the Mod Sun circle, and so you've probably seen her around. And here's Jennifer. Say hi.
Hi. As you see in the back of my mod stuff.
Yeah, yeah, you got the art, dude. I like that one. That's dope.
Happy place.
That
Yeah.
was
Brings
that was
me.
like one of his. Hold on, I couldn't hear you.
I said it brings me so much happiness.
Oh yeah. That was like one of his first ones, huh?
No, it was the second one. The second
Oh,
one.
okay, second release. Okay, cool.
The smaller one that I got before, probably 6 months before that one. So
Oh, okay, fire, fire. So cool, man. We got you here. I love your setup. Look at you. You look pro as hell, bro. You should do this for a living. I know. You should start running your own show. So tell me about life. How's life for you right now? How you feeling today?
life is so good. It gets better every single day, and
Yeah,
it gets better. I don't know how it does. It just gets better. Like I
I
don't have
feel that.
like every day used to be bad for me.
Yeah.
Now, what bad days are.
Why
There
do
might
why do you
be moments, like even like right before this, like I had someone call me, someone that I get along with very well. We never have conflict or anything, and we got into like something like really bad, like almost like yelling at each other, and I had
Yeah.
to be like, okay, this is the universe like trying me or testing me to see how I'm gonna react to it, and I just meditated afterwards, and it went away.
Oh my gosh, man, meditation. So I remember when we first started talking, you didn't know anything about meditation and you never tried it. So I mean, let's start there because I know as I talk to a lot of people and I always encourage them to pick up meditation as a practice, we always kind of struggle at first. I know you did too. So how has that been for you? How's that practice been?
I still struggle.
Yeah.
My best way to do it is just to do like a guided meditation. I go on
Hmm.
YouTube and search a guided meditation. Just
Yeah.
depends. I feel like one for positivity or energy, or like today to open my throat chakra, or just depends
Yeah.
on what I feel. And it's
Yeah.
still it's still like my thoughts go all over the place, and it's still hard. It's a practice.
It's a practice, right? So, but you've been seeing benefits from it. Have you been able to like name benefits from it, or what have you like? Why do you keep trying with it?
I used to, when I used to drink and everything, I used to be really depressed, have
Mm.
anxiety, and I would, even when I was still drinking, I would still turn to try to practice meditation, and it would help a little bit, but there
Yeah,
was problems of the alcohol and that being a depressant. But now, like, I'm not depressed anymore. I don't have depression. I don't
yeah,
have anxiety. When I do have a bad moment, I can just turn to meditation. And all it is doing is like centering yourself and like
mm-hmm,
the moment and just thinking,
yeah,
okay, what's really important right now and
yeah.
what really matters.
Right, right, right. Because it's a perfect example. I experienced that today. You know what I mean? Like sometimes your emotions, everything can just really get befrazzled, and you got to do some type of something, whether it's just turn to your breathing or that gets you in the present moment and kind of grounds you and just calms all that down. Meditation does that for me a lot too. So you say you used to drink, you don't drink anymore. Let's talk about that. You're sober now for what, 11 months? I saw, right?
7 months since I've had a single drop of alcohol. No alcohol.
Crazy.
I don't do drugs. I do smoke weed.
Yeah.
I don't do any kind of like kind of prescription pills, any of that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Where'd you come from in that situation though? You used to be kind of hell bent on it, right?
I was a mess. Like I
Yeah.
used to wake up like I was a very functioning alcoholic, which
Hmm.
meant like I could go to work every day, do my job really good, but I'd done it to like an excess. I would wake up every morning, and the only
Yeah.
way I could do my job is
Yeah.
because I would wake up
'Cause-
and drink all day long, and it was bad. And most of the time, I would black out. Like I couldn't remember most of my life,
yeah.
and like no matter how positive I tried to be, when I would drink, all my negative emotions would come up, my
Mm-hmm.
insecurity, and me having like resentments against people or holding
Yeah.
grudges or anger. And that just brought
Yeah.
out the bad side of me and made me do things out of character.
I feel that, yeah, and that tends to be. Why do you think did you turn to that in the first place? Like, how do you think you got that way? How did you think you really tied into that? What was the alcohol doing for you as a benefit before it became like a detriment to you? You think, or what you think the benefit was?
It was making me feel better about myself, making me feel more confident, and making
Yeah.
me feel happy. It was like erasing all my problems, but it was making new problems. I started doing drugs when I was young, probably 12. My parents were drug addicts my whole life
hmm
from as long as I could remember.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, like, I would do anything not to be like my parents. But
hmm
then, while kind of like my parents started doing drugs with me,
Yeah.
and I just became a drug addict.
Yeah.
And
It happens that way.
yeah,
It
and
does.
with me being a drug addict since I was 12 years old, can you imagine like all the pain I inflicted on myself, all the pain that I let others inflict on me? I didn't know my
Right.
self-worth.
I love
I
that you said that.
with men that treat me like shit. They cheated on me, physically beat me. Like I had
hmm
no self-worth at all. So I let
Yeah.
people use me and abuse me. I wanted love. So
Yeah.
like I would try to do whatever to get love, but I would never.
Right. But that's interesting that you say that though, and I love that you throw the air quotes up a lot of that too, because I think that that's what we all learn through. It's not that alcohol and drugs don't do that for you. It's just that you always have to depend on that. That's what I always talk to people about when I'm saying that. It's like, the reason alcohol has prevailed through generations and generations is because it has a benefit to us. But when you become dependent on that as your coping mechanism, it's just such a terrible way
or
to do
to
that, right?
an excess. Like
Yeah, right. So I think it's something better used for a fun time than a coping time, but it's hard to tell the difference sometimes. You don't really notice in the moment. And so, how did you start to notice that it was really the a point of holding you back, and how come you wanted to take on that arduous journey of trying to overcome that?
it would be mornings I woke up and didn't remember, and people would
Yeah,
tell me things I did, and I would just be
yeah,
so and be like, "That's not me. That's not how I
right,
want to," and just
yeah.
feel like just like why did I do
And so you
that?
just you started kicking it. So it was difficult, I assume.
God got sober. Like it
Yeah.
made me get sober so bad. I looked at him and it just inspired me.
Right. Yeah, me too. Actually, honestly, me too. I picked up a sobriety spell because not that I necessarily had an addiction, but I saw the benefits in his life. I saw how he was really coming around, and I wanted to know that for myself because I even had to look at myself and say, not that I felt like I had a problem, but right, a lot of people feel like that. A lot of us feel like we don't have a problem, and so I felt that way. And then I was like, well, how do I know? I've been doing substances since I was 15. I've never really spent time sober. And so how do I really know what that's like and why I'm doing it? So I had to go through the same journey. So that's, shouts out Big Mod Son for the inspirations always, man.
And like
Always.
to like right after I got sober, like going to the first concert, I was kind of nervous. I was like, is it gonna be weird? Is it gonna be uncomfortable? Am I not gonna
Right.
enjoy it? But it's more fun. And you remember doing stupid stuff
I
and
feel that.
more fun.
I I do. I really do feel that. You get to be present. The alcohol numbs a lot of your insecurities and worries and gives you this confidence, but it also numbs your pleasure and your ability to, like you said, experience it and be there. So it just a lot of those things numb you in general, and so I think that you're right. But I always feel like when we turn to alcohol or substances and stuff and addictions, that's to kind of, like you said, trying to fill something within ourselves that we feel like we're missing. So how did you really get into that? Because you seem like you love yourself so much now and you're not trying to do or fill this type of void within yourself. How did you really close that up for yourself, or how do you feel like you're still probably working on it, I assume?
How did I learn to love myself and close that
Right,
hole?
right.
It's well, since like another thing, since I quit drinking, I've lost 50 pounds. And and just like looking at myself in the mirror, like I'm back to looking like myself again. Like it's
Yes.
I felt like I had like body dysmorphia before, and like I really hated myself, and I didn't take pictures. I was scared to be on video, and I'm finally like I'm still trying to get over it, but I'm over it a lot. I'm over it a
You
lot.
are. You are. I was commenting the other day because I saw you posting bikini photos and like, and you're looking great, girl. I
It's
mean, you're
a
looking
lot. Like I
smashed.
sat there and looked at the bikini photo forever, and I was like, "What is fear? I have to do it. What is
Go
fear?"
for it. I love that. And so that's one thing I really want to talk to you about because that's one thing that I think we have in common, and that I feel as you've started to notice these things about yourself that you wanted to fix or that you wanted to overcome or just change, maybe fix isn't even a good word, but just change. You seem to hit it hard though. Like that's like me too. Like you're just like, you know what, this is gonna be difficult, but I'm just gonna go for it and I'm just gonna give it a shot. How do you do that? How do you overcome that fear? Like what drives you to kind of because it's really difficult to face fear and the things that you're really to let go of things that have been so like how do you do that? How do you do that?
I'm my own worst critic, and like I feel like once I set my mind to something, I'm gonna do it. Like I don't care. Like some people feel like they have to have accountability from outside people to be able to do something. Like I'm
Yeah.
like accountability. Once I say I'm gonna do something. I just feel like I have to do it. Like I was
Okay.
earlier, like the one thing that I've started to do that I didn't finish was trying to learn Spanish. Like
Oh,
I
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
felt kind of like dumb, and I was like, I'm not learning right, and I'm gonna try again though. I'm gonna try again. That's
Yeah.
one thing that I didn't stick with, but everything else
Okay.
I stuck with. Today is 2 months since I've smoked a cigarette.
I know that's
I'm,
crazy to me because you're even having a hard time letting go of that. Even after you and dude, same for me. So I let go of a lot of things. I found cigarettes to be my heaviest addiction and the one that I held on to for the longest. But so do you feel like it just been kind of going in that like once you got over the alcohol, you just started noticing all these other things and you wanted to go at it the same way, or how'd that work?
yeah, I just want to be the best person I can be, and I just want to be happy, and I just want to be able to make an impact and do something in this world, not just get fucked up, you know? I feel like the more I work on myself, the closer I'm getting to finding my purpose. Like I kind of think I know what it is, but I'm not gonna say it yet because I don't want to think.
Okay.
I think I know what it is.
But you're getting there.
Yeah.
You know what? That's huge growth, though, because I remember talking about this back in the day, and I would say, you got to find something that really calls to you. And you're like, I don't know. Nothing calls to me. And I think that that's very interesting because it shows how mindset changes so much. It doesn't just change how you're experiencing things, but all of a sudden limits that you used to have that you realize you were putting on yourself. It was your own mindset that was keeping you afraid to go after those things that you want. That's how I experienced it anyways.
Like when I started like fixing up my house and doing stuff, I used to always say, "Oh, I can't put together a table. I can't do this," and I would just pay somebody.
Right,
But
right.
I just had to do it. I can do it.
Yeah. You just have to get used to that uncomfortable feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Now,
also,
it's like I tell anybody that book that you told me about, Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Smoking. All it does is it rewires your brain.
right?
And you realize like you're crazy for smoking cigarettes and it's nothing for you.
Yeah, that's exactly what. And I love that because the same thing with the alcohol, right? It's all a mindset thing. You feel like it's doing all these things, but it's doing these things for you, as you say. You're really creating a story.
I thought I would smoke cigarettes until the day I died. I
Yeah,
really did.
yeah, me too. I really thought that was just something that was like same thing with weed too. I've flirted with quitting weed. I mean, I went sober for like 6 months and I picked it back up. It's okay. I don't mind it, but that was when I remember when I put that down for a couple months. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, my whole identity was wrapped in that for a long time, and so to it's funny like that as you grow you never really know the things you're going to grow out of or grow into. It's always new. So
Definitely. Like, when I quit smoking cigarettes, it kind of worked out good to test myself because I was out of weed. Like, I normally drive to Colorado. Colorado's like 5 hours. That's where I go to get my weed.
I've been seeing you make that trip.
Like, I'd started reading the book before, and I gave the excuse, okay, when I drive, I smoke a lot, so I can't quit right now. So
Right,
I
right,
started the book and didn't finish it. And then I was okay, I'm gonna do it, made the decision, and then I ran out of weed. So I was like out of weed for 2 days right when I quit smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, he had to make that.
Kind of like I'm not replacing one for the other, you know?
I feel that. Dude, that's so amazing. So other changes that have been coming, I've been seeing you've been doing the running, you've been doing some working out and stuff. How's that?
Yes, like I started off like I don't go to the gym. Like I'm still that's something I need to get over because I still kind of have a fear and like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with the machines. I don't want anybody looking at me, and I kind of like being outside, so I go outside to work out. But I
Yeah.
started in my living room just doing it to YouTube videos, and then I kind of got bored with it, and then I saw Mod running, and I was like,
Yeah.
Mod running. He still smokes cigarettes. I can do it too.
Right,
And
right, right.
I'm not running the whole 3 miles. I'm like walking, jogging, running,
Right.
but doing it.
Right. That's see, that's what I love is that's my mentality too. I tell people all the time, start small and work your way into these things. You know, don't look at me and be like, oh, I'm gonna start working out like Rod. Like, no, you're not. I've been working out for 10 years. You know, but you might need to start in your living room and then it turns to running and then you get into the gym or whatever, you know, but you as you do a little bit of something, it gives you courage to do more of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I went from walking a 21-minute mile to jogging, running a 17-minute to 15-minute to
Go.
12-minute. It's
There you go. Yo, that's amazing though. That's see, oh, man, that's what I'm saying. You inspire the fuck out of me all the time because of that. Your constant progress. You know, like you're constantly not like that's how I am too. And I was just talking to Jessica about that today. I said, you know, if you're not going forward, you're going backwards. But people always apply that to life in the sense of what you're like making. But no, it's inside. It's like a mindset. You're either always trying to improve on your position and what you're doing. If you don't have that mindset, then you slowly start to slip backwards and you don't really notice it, but it happens that way. And next thing you know, you're all off of your shit, you know? So I love
yeah,
that you're always constantly trying to push it.
definitely.
So, I noticed one thing about you is you seem to be so self-aware of all these things that you're afraid of, or things that are like how these different forces are pulling on you, the alcohol and all that stuff. Where do you think you got that kind of like? Did you always have that level of like introspection, like being able to see your own thoughts and stuff, or do you think that's something that came from? Where do you think that came from?
Maybe like I feel like I've always had like intuition, but I don't feel like I've ever like listened to it, and
Yeah,
always had like that inner voice that told me what to do, and I've never listened to it,
yeah. So why do you think you did start listening to it?
talking to us. But
Right? Yeah, that's what I say. That's what I always say. I'm like, dude, if you don't believe like the universe speaks to you, I'm like, where do you think this voice in your head is at? And it's just talking to you all day, you know?
some people don't hear the voice. They say some people don't hear the voice.
So you don't actually, and the reason you don't is because familiarity. You know, it's like when something okay, you move into an apartment, right? And as soon as you get there, you hear all the road noise, like everything, all the loud noises and stuff. You're like, whoa, there's a lot of loud noises. Live there for like 6 months, you don't hear none of that. People come over and or it smells are like this. People be like, yo, this place ranks, and you're like, what? I smell it? I can't even smell it. Why? Well, because you're so used to smelling it that you don't notice. So the same goes for, I don't know where I was going. That's like a law of familiar. What were we talking about before that? I got lost in the law of familiarization.
I got lost too.
Me too. Me too. Damn it. It was so fun. But anyway, you get familiar with things and then you don't. Oh, so same thing. Your voice, the voice in your head.
Yeah.
You're so familiar with it. Like you've been listening to it your whole life. So you don't ever think of yourself separate from it. And so people don't understand it's there, right? Like you said, it just kind of talks to them in the background. I felt meditation brought that out for me. You know, like as I meditated a lot, I started to tune into that voice more, and then I started to hear that voice more. And then as I got more comfortable with listening to it and realizing that it's kind of different than me, you know, sometimes like I even have very negative thoughts sometimes where I'm like, oh, kind of like you were talking about subconscious stuff that still arises or limiting beliefs. And I always have to remind myself that's not really me. That's a different, you know, that's just a different voice coming out of my head. Yeah.
Yes, it's everything that you've learned and
100% other things and people that have. So that's what.
You were saying something a minute ago, and I was thinking about it. Like one thing that drives me is because you were asking what really drives me and makes me keep going. Is
Yeah.
when I start to get sad or bored, if like I'll redo my goals or go like harder on something,
Yeah.
I'll get better. So like if
You
I
feel
just
better.
like, redo my goals, start doing something new, start learning something, like that's
Yes.
me going, because like when I start getting sad or depressed or whatever, like I can always change it and it gets
Yeah.
better.
um, Dude, Kasky, did you watch Kasky and
Yeah,
Lost in Vegas? Did the live last night? So good.
so
So good.
good.
You already knew. I mean, we were on the Kasky train heavy, and we've been seeing he's been on this stuff too. He's been heavy on the mindset and working out. And one of the things he said too is like anytime doubt creeps into his mind, even for a little bit, he kills it with action. He's like, just do something, man. Just get out, hit the gym, paint something, just make some like you said, write some new goals. I found that to be the truth too. Anytime I get in my own head, I'm like, yo, let's put some new goals up, or let's get out here and make something, make something of ourselves.
Like, I'm gonna try to start painting because, like, Kasky says he didn't know how to paint, so he just
Yes.
did it.
You just do it and figure it out.
Like, wow, like,
So do you feel like some of the things that you're learning from like certain activities is bleeding over? Like don't you feel like you said, like learning to run and work out is the same as like learning to paint or learning to, you know?
growing yourself, and it's all based around trying to find yourself and to become yourself.
Yeah, your best self, right? That's what I found too, and that's what when I think of the law of attraction, and that's what I think you've really nailed it, and that's why I think you're starting to manifest and pulling all these awesome experiences. I see you travel so much now, and you're doing so many cool hikes and going to so many different places, and now you're on a live show. You know, guys, I wish you could. Hey, gang, I wish you could have seen 2 years ago. I mean, maybe even if you just scroll through her Instagram, you might pick up on it. But just to go from where you used to be to being on the live show, and you look so good and you look so happy.
To do this, you couldn't have paid me to be on a live video. You couldn't have
And you actually wanted to come out. I know. I know. Like you said, you wouldn't even do pictures, right? So that's the thing is people get so focused on trying to manifest all those things externally. It's more so of just when you start to adopt it in your mind, all those things seem to kind of come from that, you know?
yeah, comes together.
Yeah. And so you would say you've seen that probably too, since you've like really elevated your vibration. I would say that you've done that. And I would assume you would say the same thing. Have you started to notice the universe and things responding to you differently?
Yes, definitely. Because the biggest thing that I've noticed is like the different people that I attract. Because I used to be
Right.
like, I was like, why am I attracting all these negative, toxic people? I don't think I'm negative or toxic.
Right.
I still had negative and toxic things. So I was
Yeah.
attracting that. So now, like,
Yeah.
I'm a totally different people. And
Right.
like, I feel like I'm finally meeting my people.
Yes, I love that. I love that you say your people too, because that's how I feel. And I think somebody was saying she wants to be a part of the tribe. Oh yeah, Kasky's tribe. I feel you, right? But I think when we become a lot of times people complain about having fake or toxic people around them, or people that it's because you're, like you said, it's something you're doing, it's something you're being that's attracting those people. But when you start being your truest self, for better or worse, it's not about, sometimes there's things about me that are my true self that people don't like. Like I'm very confident, overconfident sometimes to the point of maybe being conceited. And some people don't fuck with that. But
And very, very blunt. The best advice you ever gave me: stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop being poor me, poor me.
I love that you say that.
So much. Because, like,
Dude.
at one point, I was like, oh, my childhood wasn't that bad. And then people instilled in my mind, oh, it was bad. It was bad. You should be this way. You should be this way. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
I did that. I love that because I always worry about this sometimes. I'm a very empathetic guy and a nice guy. So I always have a hard time being firm with people. And like you said, sometimes you got to shake some people up and just be like, look, you're making excuses for yourself. Stop. And I always worry about that. So I'm glad that you said that actually did help you. And I hope that I can continue to use that kind of in the right way. Um, but yeah, like you said. And then, it just, I don't know where I was gonna go with it, but it changes, and that's so dope. I like I said, you continue to inspire me daily. What are you looking for in the future? I know you said you feel like you're tapping in. You don't really want to say it out loud yet, and that's fine. But just like, what are you looking forward to, and what do you think's gonna kind of come from the next couple months?
I'm going to find something to invest my time in, something that means something to help other people.
I love that.
Other than that, like, I haven't been like a person that's very materialistic or like that wants cars or big houses. But I have been thinking lately that I really want a Tesla. I really,
Tesla. That's someone. Me too. I wanted one too.
I'm manifesting it. You can
Go for
camp.
it, dude. Are you gonna get the? Are you gonna get the big bubbly one, the Model X?
I'm debating between
Oh,
the
okay.
Model and the other one because there was like a camping video and they said with the Model X with the thing that comes down in the middle, like when you're sitting up in it, it kind of makes it smaller. So
Oh,
like
okay.
the other one might be
So
better for camping,
yeah.
but I'm still researching, so I don't know.
Get a truck, get a Tesla truck. But no, I love this. I love this because I tried to explain this to you a couple years back, but we weren't there yet. And like you said, mindset changed everything for you. But I remember back in the day, I used to ask you, what do you see for the future? Like, what do you want to do? And your answer was, I just want to lay on a beach. You know, you're like, I want to just lay on the beach forever. I remember you saying that, and I laughed because there's one thing that I've inherently begun to understand about a passion or a mission in life. We're all connected, you know, so we're all like, my passion is about you guys. It's about passing on wisdom to somebody else or helping somebody else. When you really start to satisfy your own needs, Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human basic needs. I don't know if you've ever studied, but when you satisfy those, you start to look for growth and contribution. How do you give to others, and how do you help others kind of find happiness or joy or anything that you're experiencing? I think it's funny like that. Once you fill yourself up, you have this abundance, and now you're trying to figure out, how do I give this abundance to others? And so I see that you're reaching that level now, because now when we ask, it's not about you at all. It's about, how do you impact somebody else? I love that.
Oh, I noticed that.
I'm super excited. Well, I love that you were on the show, and I think, like I said, everybody should follow you right now at Green Eyes. Let me put it in here. Well, help me spell it too, because it's GRE. Yeah.
And EYEZZ85.
CZ85.
Easy.
Yeah. Two Z's?
Two Z's. Mm-hmm.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Guys, follow Jennifer. She always posts. Oh, that's one thing I do want to talk about on the way out. I love your feed, dude. You're like one of, I'm weird. I'm telling you, I'm weird. I follow different people who inspire me. I know I don't really follow celebrities, or I follow the gang. You know, I follow Grind Gang. So I love watching your stories. You're always dropping some real good nuggets. Even for me, even the shit that I'm like, yes, that's so true. So keep doing that. You're spreading a lot of light and love out here. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. It's helped me a lot. Thank you.
Okay, well, we love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. We'll have you back on the show in another couple, months, maybe? We'll see. See where you're
Definitely.
at. Okay, Jen, we love you. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Yes, guys, that is so amazing. Like I said, I just saw Jennifer. I've been watching her for a couple of years now, and it's like that. You know, it's like that. I try and stay tuned in to others and their journeys. I saw B was talking about how she likes to watch progress. That's me too, man. You know, I could really care less about who's at the top. You know, I'm really more so interested in who's moving from the position that they're at now to a more elevated position, whether that be within yourself or externally in your art or whatever you're doing to kind of progress, guys. I think that's really the spice of life. I think Jennifer proved that a lot today, and talking about her progression and her mindset and how that is just so powerful, guys. You know, a lot of things that we're looking for in life, it comes from within. You know, the love that you're looking for, the abundance you're looking for, money that we're looking for, all these experiences and good things we want to manifest out in the world, they're coming from within us. And so the more that we can tap into our truest selves, that's something else that Jennifer was really talking about too, is not the things that you've been taught through your lifetime, or not the other stories that people implant in our heads and say, you need this to be okay, or this is how it was for you, so this is how you should be now. You got to let all that go and really just start deciding for yourself, who am I? Who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? What do I want to see? How do I, you know, and then as you start to do that, you manifest and attract everything in life that aligns with that. So I hope that inspires you guys some way. That's the one thing I really took from Jennifer and our conversation today, was just like, you gotta really tap into who you truly are, you know, and that doesn't always mean like, these are the types of clothes I wear, or this is my type of thing. It really comes down to maybe making your own opinions up and your own beliefs about how life has been for you and how life could be for you. Don't listen to your old teacher who told you you're dumb or you're stupid or they failed you, and then you always thought you were kind of dumb because of that experience. Or it happens to us in all weird ways. You go out and you try to do something at a talent show and you trip and fall one time, and then everybody laughs, and so that embarrassment sticks with you, and forever you tell yourself that I'm not good at performing, or I'm not good at this because of that one time. But other people implant that in your head. If nobody was there to laugh at you or nobody was there to make you feel uncomfortable at that time, you might not have came up with that same idea. And those ideas, as we were talking about, prevail over time and they control you. So understand your own ideas about your life and about how things are going. Different substances and habits that you have, you got to really look and say, is this useful for me? Is this beneficial? Is this really helping me, or is this something that's hurting me? And sometimes it takes a while to figure that out, but if we're constantly asking ourselves that question and looking within for those answers, just like Jennifer was talking about and I was talking about, there's that voice inside your head. And the more you talk to it, and the more you learn to decipher between them, they'll give you answers. Those voices will lead you in the right direction. Sometimes they'll lead you in the wrong one, but you got to learn the difference. And the only way you'll ever do that is by tapping in. Tapping in. Try meditation. I think that's a powerful practice to start to, like she said, become aware of those conversations that are happening in your head, and to really start to understand those stories you're telling yourself or that the world has told you. There's some I'm going to talk about a lot more in my book and just in the future, guys. And the more I study, the more I learn. It's 90% story. I just don't know how else to explain that. Even as I was saying in my story, in my live stories, Instagram stories, science, right? Even science is like, I'm going to tell you a story of why this is true, right? Based on all this evidence. This is why I think this to be the case. This is what happened 150 years ago. You don't know that. You're believing the story that's being told to you about what happened X, Y, 10,000 years ago, right? Or anything. These are all stories. What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen with the coronavirus? You don't know. It could disappear tomorrow, just as fast as it came. It could just evaporate. It got hot outside and it just kills the whole thing, right? You don't know, but we'll tell ourselves a story that makes us believe certain things about 2020's fucked up. 2020 is a bad year. You don't even know that. Aliens could come down right now and bless us with the sauce, and then 2020 is the greatest year to ever happen in the history of ever. You see what I'm saying? You just don't know. So the stories that we tell ourselves are so powerful, and we got to really tap into those and listen to those and try and change those to our benefit if we can. So again, thank you, Jennifer, so much for being on my little live show. If you guys are ever interested in being on the show, tap in, be part of the Grind Gang. Don't be afraid to share your story and share your life, share the things you're working on, share the ways you're growing, because you don't know who else might be inspired by that. I don't know how much Jennifer knew I was watching her and other people, and how that might turn into you coming on a show and inspiring others. But as long as we hide from ourselves and hide from the world and just hide behind alcohol and drugs and all these things that we hide behind, let's just, get out here and try not only inspire ourselves, but inspire others. And I believe that's how we build a happy, successful life for ourselves. And Jennifer seems to be proving that as well. And I'm pretty sure everybody on this live is going to continue to prove that. I appreciate you guys spending some time with me today. And I will see you again very, very soon. Grind Gang for life. Peace.